Hello, my dear students. Today I am going to discuss regarding the industrial development. So it is the part of second chapter, that is the Indian economy 1950 to 1990. So first of all, I want to discuss about the role of public sector in industrial development. So here the public sector means the sector which is run and governed by the government. So, what is the role of the government in industrial development? So, first point here I have taken that lack of capital to undertake investment. So, as we know that our country got independence in the year 1947, and at that time only agriculture sector was well developed and industrial sector was lacking behind. So, the government took initiative in the investment process, and due to that we can say here the role of private sector was negligible. And why the role of private sector was negligible? Lack of capital. So on that basis we can say private entrepreneur did not have the capital to undertake investment in industrial ventures which required for the development of the economy. So government had to undertake capital investment through units public sector. Now second is the lack of incentive for private sectors. So as we know that our market size was very less, and private people used to think that here the demand is very low and as a result the profit will decline. So limited size of the market, there was no inducement to invest. It means there was low level of demand for the industrial goods which could create low level of income. Next, the government wants to create social justice among all the people. So social justice was possible only for the work which is done for the welfare. And as we know that private investors always wants to generate maximum profit. So in this situation, the society may divides into two parts, rich and poor. So to reduce the gap, the government took initiative in the investment process. So on that basis we can say social justice was possible only through direct participation of the government in the process of industrialization. Now the second question arises, what are the importance of industry? So as we know that there are vast importance of industry. So it is taken in the points. First, a structural transformation. So as we know that our whole economy is divided into three parts, primary, secondary and tertiary. It is also known as core sectors. At the time of independence, nearly 87% people were engaged in the agriculture or agricultural related works. So due to the development of the industry, the structural changes took place. So here I have taken some points. In the absence of industry, economic growth could not have hinged upon agricultural growth. Human being would have survived merely on wage goods such as food and coarse clothes. So due to industry, people are getting a variety of goods. Second, it is a very good source of employment. The people started to migrate from village to towns. They wanted to show their own potential, skill, knowledge and so on. As a result, industry became an important source of employment outside the agriculture. Next is the mechanized means of farming. As we know that lack of industrial products, it is not possible to produce the multiple crops, the modern farming and due to that industry has a great importance. On that basis we can say due to development of the industry we are capable to utilize machines in farming. Next point is the route to the process growth of development. So route means what? That is the way. That is a particular way by which you can get a particular goals. So industrialization has emerged as an obvious route to growth and development. We have also noticed that all the developed countries are well industrialized. So it is a good source by which we can develop our country. Next is the infrastructural growth. So infrastructure means all those things which do not participate directly in the production process but indirectly it has great importance. And due to that infrastructure has two aspects. One is known as economic infrastructure, which includes banking, insurance, transport, road, communications, etc. And other is the social infrastructure, which contains health and education. So due to the development of the industry, not only the economic infrastructure has acquired a high priority, on the other hand, the social infrastructure has also increased with a rapid speed. Nowadays, as we know that, according to the census of 2011, nearly 74% people are literates. So it indicates that it is the boon of the industry, and the demand for the education and health has increased with a rapid speed. Next is the growth of civilizations. So due to industrialization, people are now conscious to their quality of life, such as higher level of consumption pattern. The educational level has also increased, as in the previous points I have already discussed. So the educational level has also increased along with the skill and businesses, which helped the world economies to integrate into a global economy. So these are the basic importance of industry. Now come to the next topic, and our topic is IPR of 1956. I means industrial, P for policy, R for resolutions. In a simple word we can say the law or some important decisions had been taken in the year 1956 and we have to know about it. So this resolution formed the basis on the second 5 years plan. As we know that the second 5 years plan starts from 1955 to 1960. So the industries were divided into three groups. First, that is known as the threefold classification of industries. This resolution classified industries into three categories. First, comprises industries which would be exclusively owned by the state government. So it means we can say nearly 17 industries were reserved for the government. Here the private investment was not allowed so that the economic development may take place, such as atomic energy, arms and ammunitions, oil, railways, etc. Second categories consist of industries in which the private sector could supplement the efforts of the state government, such as fertilizers, machines, tools, aluminium, etc. Such kind of total industries were 12, and they were working in the form of joint ventures. And third category, there were to be the private sectors where the private sector can invest their capital. But these industries which are under the control of government through Regulation Act of 1951. So in this way, the whole industries were divided into three categories. So accept it. A licensing system has also developed, that is our second point, and it is known as industrial licenses. So licensing policies was implemented to promote regional equality. A license was needed not only for establishing a new enterprises but also for expanding production capacity of the existing industry. So this was to be regulate the allocation of resources to different uses and to promote social welfare rather than individual profits. So licensing system was only to develop, only to create the social welfare or to promote the social welfare and to reduce the regional disbalance. Third point, that is the industrial concessions. Private entrepreneurs were also offered various industrial concessions such as tax rebates, electricity at a lower tariff, so that they can easily invest their capital and our total economic growth may increase. So in this way we find that industrial policy resolution is also based on the three main points: first, categories of the industry; second, industrial license; and third, industrial concessions. Now come to the what is the role of a small scale industries in a simple way you can say, or what do you mean by a small scale industries and what are its importance? So all those industries where the investment is up to 1 crore rupees is considered as a small scale industries. A committee was framed for the development of a small scale industries. The basic motive or objective was as follows. First, employment generation. As we know that here the investment is very less, so such kind of industries are based on labor intensive method, so which has the ability to absorb surplus labors which is growing day by day in agricultural sectors. Second is the regional equality. The government tries to create a gap between the government tries to reduce the gap between the urban areas and the rural areas from one state to another states, and that is known as regional equality. So it can be established anywhere without considering the source of raw material. These are distributed over the entire length and breadth of the country, so it reduces regional disbalance. Next point here we can also discuss, but I think these 2 points is most important. Okay, thank you my dear friends.